a haunting version of the Dance of Death from Ballet Rambert.
te quisiera, tu mitad de oro tuviera, para escribir una carta a mi negra más querida. Ay, palomita, ay, corazoncito, ¿hasta cuándo estaré yo sufriendo? Ay, palomita, ay, corazoncito, ¿hasta cuándo estaré yo sufriendo? Ay, palomita, ay, corazoncito, ¿hasta cuándo estaré yo sufriendo? Ay, palomita, ay, corazoncito, ¿hasta cuándo estaré yo sufriendo? Ay, palomita, ay, corazoncito, ¿hasta cuándo estaré yo sufriendo? Ay, palomita, ay, corazoncito, ¿hasta cuándo estaré yo sufriendo?
introduced by Christopher Bruce.
Well, Ghost Dances came about because I had a letter from Joan Hara, who is the widow of a very famous Chilean folk singer. And he was murdered during the coup when Pinochet came to power. And she asked me if I would do a work for an evening for the Chile Human Rights Committee. She provided me with a lot of South American music, and one of the records was Inti Illimani 3. And I fell in love with the music instantly, and it was sympathetic to the cause of the Chile Human Rights Committee. And I decided that I would want to do a ballet for it, but it would take time for the ideas to develop. I love the music, but at first I couldn't see in what form I would put it together, because they were very haunting, very beautiful songs, but in themselves they didn't constitute a ballet with the kind of weight that I felt it should have. It seemed to me that South America is a tragic place at the moment, and has been for many, many years. The things that have happened to various generations of, especially the poorer inhabitants of the continent, is terrible in a way that it's very difficult for us to imagine sitting here in comfortable Kew. So I wanted to do a piece about the people and what it meant really just to be snatched away from your family, put up against the wall and shot, taken to a cell and tortured till you died. See your friend's mother, girlfriend, boyfriend taken away, your children massacred, and it's still happening. I didn't, say, in a sense, want to make it pretty. I wanted to make it very brutal, because there is nothing subtle about a lot of the things that happen to the people. Therefore, when people die, they get smashed to the ground, and with a relentless quality. There's no escape from this situation. I wanted to use influences of the Indian past. So I created this kind of in-between land, a kind of an entrance to the underworld, to heaven or hell. And I inhabited it with these creatures which are symbolic of death. They may be Indian ghost dancers, and I call them ghost dancers because the Indians, some of the tribes, they celebrated death, even to the point where they would actually burn a dead body and then grind the bones and make a soup, and the Indians would drink it. And by drinking the body, the person would live on in spirit. And it was, so death was celebrated in a real way. And we saw some Indian death dance, some ghost dancer masks in the book, and we copied these. We made skull masks. So we have these ghost dancers. They can symbolize the Indians, they can symbolize death, they can symbolize the murderers, if you like. I saw them as fairly kind of objective, figures, that this is death, I am death, I must take you, sort of feeling. Something that interrupts. And we see them kind of playing at the beginning, but waiting, listening, and then they hear the dead coming. And the dead are just people from the street. I have 2 girls and a boy that look very much like Indians. Then there are other people just of more European stock there. So it's very mixed. They're just people off the street. And we see them entering. And first of all, there's a dance, which is like a folk dance, but it has a feeling of lament in it. It's like their life is full of sorrow, and we must live with the sorrow. And the dance is very crudely interrupted. And every dance is quite... At the end of every dance, it's like the ghosts come in and say, but it's finished now, we must take you. And the dances symbolize, in a sense, just very simple aspects of their life. A duet for a couple, where the woman knows that the man is going to be taken away. A dance for a boy and 4 girls, like he's flirting with these girls. And I think it says, if I had some silver paper and a pen of gold, I'd write you such a wonderful love letter.
Ay, palomita, ay, corazoncito, hasta cuando estaré yo sufriendo. Ay, palomita, ay, corazoncito, hasta cuando estaré yo sufriendo.
But even at the end of this, having danced individually with all the girls, finally death comes to dance with him and take him away. We have what's called My Little Lama, which is a dance where the charango, which is a musical stringed instrument made like a guitar, but very much smaller, made from an armadillo shell, imitates the movement, the walk of a llama. And I've made this man who's imitate a llama in a kind of very playful dance, where he's playing with maybe his daughter or his girlfriend, it doesn't matter. In the middle of the dance, he's reminded of death. And right at the end of a very joyful and playful dance, death takes her, and he's left with the body of his daughter, his wife, his girlfriend in his hands. So I've tried to mix the quality of fun and trying to live and be happy, but always knowing that you constantly live with this threat of a knock on the door or a raid. I want people to be moved and feel something for these people. They may not be able to do much, but public opinion in the end means something. And that is a way that I, as an artist, can do my bit for humanity and try to improve, make a better world. But yes, the music moved me very much, and from then I went on to... I looked back into, I read books about South America, I learned about the culture a little, and I've taken various little aspects. But basically, I work very instinctively, and I made up the folk language. There's nothing ethnic about the movement. I made up a language which was purely, instinctive. But basically, at the end of the ballet, I wanted to see people, however much they were thrown down, however much people were murdered and taken away, they had tremendous pride and dignity. And however, they're incredibly passive, most of the people, and the Indian, anyway, part of the population is very passive. They take everything that happens to them and seem to accept it in a way that is so painful.